Neil Beller Jr. is an Emmy Award-winning television editor who has worked for production companies, network news, advertising agencies, professional sports teams in and around Baltimore, and major motion picture companies during his time in Hollywood, California. His company, Kit and Caboodle Productions, has an international client base as far away as Melbourne, Australia. He spent 3 years guest hosting on WBAL's The Sherry Ellicotter Show, where he won 2 Associated Press Awards for comedy writing. He is a published author of a comedy cookbook, Cooking Without a Conscience, a comedy memoir, Missing Pine Park, about growing up in Maryland during the 60s and 70s, and his most recent book about what he has witnessed while driving. It's called A Turn Signal, Asshole. We can just edit that out, CMC, right? It was right there on the page. I just had to. All right, so please give a big Ignite Carroll welcome to Neil Beller as he enlightens us with near-death encounters I had with many of the stars of Hollywood in the early 90s. Wireless is right there if you want it. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna get
this. I just want to apologize for any sort of psychological trauma I might be giving any of you tonight with my little presentation, especially the first picture. Okay, whenever you're ready. In 1991, I had a mullet. It wasn't called a mullet back then, it was just called long hair, but then that Billy Ray Cyrus guy came out with that song and ruined it for everybody. Well, since my porn career wasn't taking off, I decided to move my television career to Hollywood, California. My second day in Hollywood, I got a phone call from a man who was looking for somebody to work on a movie. And he asked me, could I drive a Condor? I said, yeah, I can drive a Condor. So I hang up the phone and my friend says, you told him you could drive a Condor? Well, apparently a Condor is a bucket truck that you drive from the bucket and it has an 80-foot reach. And I'm thinking, well, maybe I'll just try to wing it, or he probably won't ask me to drive the Condor and I'll get somebody else to help me. I don't know. I really wasn't that worried. So I get to this set at 8 o'clock and at 8:01 he goes, go get the Condor and put it on stage 9. Oh my God, it takes me 10 minutes to get this thing started, and it's all turned around, it's behind me, and I'm driving from the basket, and I'm driving down past these 2 studios, and this guard comes out, and he's waving at me, stop, stop. I'm like, what? And he goes, the red light. Well, this red light was going off, which means they're recording audio, and you can't drive past. Well, I didn't know this. So I come screeching to a halt, and out of basket, it's shaking like this. I'm about 15 feet in the air over this door, and the door opens up, and this guy comes out, and he looks up, and he sees me, and he falls to the ground because he thinks I'm falling on him. And it's Rob Reiner, and I'm just looking at him. I'm so sorry, Mr. Reiner. And I didn't know what to say, and he got up, and he dusted himself off, and he walks away, and I'm like, I can't even believe this. Well, the door opens up again, and this other guy comes out, and he does the same thing. He just hits the ground. It's Jack Nicholson. Jack, I'm so sorry. Rob Reiner's over there laughing his butt off because Jack's on the ground. Well, right behind Jack, here comes Kiefer Sutherland, Demi Moore, Kevin Bacon, Tom Cruise. The movie I'm working on is For a Few Good Men. And I almost killed the entire cast 3 minutes into it. So my Condor days are over. So the next thing I do is I start working on a grip truck. Well, grip truck is this 10-ton vehicle where they keep all the equipment in that you use on location. So we're shooting this commercial or something on Venice Boulevard, and I'm in the truck, and I keep taking stuff to and from the set, but I have a walkie-talkie. Well, one of the things that is a specialty item which was made is a 20-foot 2x4. So they call me up, bring in the 20-foot 2x4. So I put this thing on my shoulder, and I got 10 feet in front of me and 10 feet behind me, and I'm walking up this road. Now I got to turn left on the Venice Boulevard. I don't know how to do this because I got 10 feet. So real fast, I run out in traffic, and I turn like this, and this man is walking out of this door, and he ducks, and the thing almost hits him in the head, and it was Walter Matthau. And he gets up, and he comes walking past, and he says, you should put a headlight on that, son. I'm like, my God, almost decapitated the grumpy old man. I couldn't even believe it, but obviously I'm out of the grip truck. So they put me in the perms. The perms are the rafters. They're permanent rafters that are 40 feet above the ground in any studio. So I'm up there rigging wiring and lighting for this Janet Jackson music video called If. Well, my pager goes off. We didn't have phones. We had pagers. So I climb down out of the rafters, and I go over to this phone. Now, the phone is just a pole that has 4 phones on each side of the pole. So I pick up the phone, and I'm making a call. Well, Janet Jackson comes over, and she picks up the phone right next to me, and she's making a call. We're inches from each other. other, and we're talking on the phone. And all of a sudden, she just starts picking lint and dirt off of my shirt because I was up in the rafters. And I'm like, well, thank you. And she's just picking it off. And all of a sudden, I look down, and her top had come down, and one of her girly parts was hanging out. And I'm trying to get her attention, but she's working on me, so I just put it right back in. And she's like, thank you very, very much. So what you saw in the Super Bowl was the second wardrobe malfunction. I was there for the first. And then this big bodyguard comes over and he says, if you touch Janet Jackson's girly parts one more time, I'm going to break you over my knee. Needless to say, I finally got a job doing what I'm trained to do, and that's editing. So I get a job at this Post Group. It's called the Post Group. It's just a big building with edit suites and 4 floors. And I'm working with these crazy groups of people on this cartoon called Ren and Stimpy. Everybody remember Ren and Stimpy? So I'm editing this cartoon, but these guys are nuts. And so I got to go downstairs and get some paperwork. So I start walking out the door into the hallway, and one of them calls me. And I turn, but I keep walking out into the hallway. Well, all of a sudden, I bang into some guy coming down the hallway. I blindside him. Well, there's this big metal water fountain on the wall, and I hear him careening off of this thing. Ba-bam! So I spin around to help him, and I punch him in the neck. And I got my hand in his ribs, and I get up, and I'm holding him. I got his head in my hand. I'm looking at him, and it's Prince. I'm holding Prince in my arms, and he weighs 8 pounds. And I didn't know what to do or what to say, so I just went, I'm sorry, Mr. Prince. And these guys are going, he called him Mr. Prince. And they're laughing so hard. The next day, he had a press conference and changed his name to the artist formerly known as Prince, and he went by this symbol. At the Christmas party that year, I saw him. I went over to apologize, and right when I got there, I tripped, and I spilled onion dip all over his purple shoes. True story.